Hey everyone, welcome back. Tone here, and today we're going to be playing Wilderness again. I gotta say, I had a blast playing this last week, and I've been addicted. I haven't had a ton of time to play it, but I've had 2 or 3 good sessions where I had a lot of fun. And I've learned a lot about the game in those sessions. And in addition to those sessions, even before that, from talking to Duke on Twitter and in the YouTube comments of the last video, and also with JT on my Discord and in the comments of the last video. They've even been digging in the source code and doing some cool stuff, which has been fun to see. But it's been cool talking about this game with people and sharing some stories and everything. I've been doing on the Discord like play-by-plays of my sessions, just sharing lots of screenshots and stuff because it's been a lot of fun to see what the game does and what we're discovering here. So I think the purpose of this video is going to be to kind of share some of these experiences and these lessons that I've learned so that anyone else that wants to try this out can start on a better footing than I did. I'm playing this in the same Java Exidy Sorcerer emulator that I used last time. You can find the emulator in the comments of that video or the in the description, and I should put them in this one as well. There are on the GitHub page that Duke has for the game. There's a good getting started guide there. If anyone has any more questions, you can find me in the YouTube comments on Discord or Twitter. We can try to help you out. It's pretty simple once you get started. Also, this time I'm using the I don't want to say it's sped up, but like the emulator by default is like capped to like the original like processing speed. There's a button here that lets you run at whatever your native computer speed is. So it'll be a little faster than the last video. There is a lot of charm to running it at like the slower original speed, but I sped it up for one of my sessions, and once you speed it up, you can't go back. It just feels pretty slow. So just a heads up on that if it seems faster. And I hope you like this new screen that I put up here. I got all the command printouts from in the game, and I put them on the sides so that everyone can have a reference. Look at myself here as we go forward. Here, that'd be easier. Now, yeah, Wilderness, a game of survival. Let's get started. So beginner or expert? I've only been playing beginner, but I played one round of expert, or I just like loaded it just to check something. And I noticed your stats are a lot lower. You start with 1 or maybe even 0 in your 3 stats, which are strength, shield, and magic ability. So we're going to stick with beginner here. All right, Wilderness. Your level is 2 mortal. You always start at 2. Max level is 10. The points are 9.1. Strength is 1. Magical ability is 1. Shield bonuses are 1. Those are a little randomized to start. Sometimes you get a 2 in one of those. Weapons are bare hands, dagger, and sword. So weapons, you can get more of those as you level up. So whenever you level, check that and see if you got anything new. Your scrolls and amulets are disintegrate and fear. You always start with 2 scrolls. They are random spells. If you see the spell list in the bottom right, those are all the spells in the game. That's what the scrolls apply to. And something about scrolls is that you don't always consume them when you read them. Sometimes they don't fade. I don't really know what the odds are of that, if it's based on spell level or anything like that, but sometimes you get to keep them, so keep that in mind. We start with an amulet, Control Dragon Amulet. Ooh, that is a good one. So what amulets seem to do is make it so if you're carrying the amulet of a particular Grebly type, enemy type, then it seems that they don't attack you, which is pretty cool. So this means that dragons aren't threatening to me. Now, dragons are actually intelligent beings, and they seem to not attack you most of the time anyways, so they're not that harmful unless you attack them. But getting this amulet means we can fight them for XP possibly without any repercussions. You can hold up to 5 amulets, and after that, it's like a gambling system. So we'll get to that as well, where you have to like discard one before you find out what the new one is. 120 experience points. You see on the right, we have our 10 levels and how much experience is needed. We are in the wilderness. You always start in the wilderness, and your spells are ESP. You always start with either ESP or Bless. Let's see, and we start in the wilderness. There's always the underworld here if we use ID to check the map, which it didn't give us a printout of here. And also the map command does not work. It moves into advance instead, which is a little awkward. Probably a bug in the game, I don't know. Just keep that in mind as well. No enemies. Entrance to underworld going down. No, not yet. Something important to know about the underworld, which you may have noticed from our last session, is that you don't gain levels down there. You only gain levels in the wilderness. So I think the strategy is going to be to like gain a lot of levels and then go into the underworld. Now, even though I've learned a lot here, one thing I haven't done in my previous sessions is actually go down to the underworld. I've been spending a lot of time in the wilderness. I spent a little bit of time in the underworld one session. That's about it. So when we get around to it, I'm probably going to the underworld, and that's when I'm going to start experimenting again. And I'll be somewhat blind to a lot of things down there. And there's a lot of things I want to test down there. So the underworld is always here, but we do not want to go down right away. I've never seen an enemy in the starting area. And then an important thing to do is find amulet in all these areas, because that's how you find more amulets. So every area you go to, you want to search for the amulet. So you use advance to move. No enemies here. You would see them by the key in the top right. An F, an A, or a P would denote a type of enemy. In that case, you would use ID to see what they are. And we're going to hit F. So this is kind of the cycle of the game, is advancing, looking for enemies, looking for amulets, advancing, looking for enemies, searching for amulets. You're kind of just re-rolling a lot, which is a little awkward when you kind of get into this like repetitive cycle. But I don't know, it's pretty cool. I do like how sparse the world is, because it does feel like we're kind of exploring the wilderness. There's like not a lot here. So I do really enjoy that. But yeah, I kind of just get into this cycle once I get going of just like exploring new areas, searching for enemies, seeing if we find an amulet. There we go, we have an amulet of control human, which is highly unethical, if you ask me. We'll ditch that at our first opportunity. But yeah, you can see our amulets here with the inquiry command to see our spells and amulets, or scrolls and amulets, I should say. And I've never found a second amulet in the same area, so I don't think that's a thing. All right, our first enemy, denoted by that P. What do we got? Creatures are an orc. So I know something I can do is, so some of the intelligent enemies, I don't know exactly how it's settled or decided, but they don't always attack you. Like humans don't seem to always attack you, and dragons don't always attack you. But something you can do when you have ESP is cast that, and it tells you their intention. Now, once I think it said they won't attack, or it said they like us, and then they killed me anyways. I think those are elves or something, so that's a little awkward. But this orc definitely wants to attack us. So we want to use one of our weapons. Bare hands, dagger, and sword. I've actually literally never used the dagger. Something that's cool about your bare hands is that it'll try to grapple, it says. I don't know if that's just flavor or if grappling actually does something. But it also tries, it'll close the gap on the enemy. And at first I thought it was like random, and it was hard to tell like if you're in range of enemies or not. It felt random to me. But if they're far away, you can actually hit A to advance, and then you actually like close in on the enemy, which is pretty neat. I think sometimes the enemies are like trying to run from you. I noticed that with the control amulets, when the enemies can't fight you, sometimes they run. So I don't know if they have a speed value or something, but I had to keep like advancing to get in range of like a dragon or something I was chasing the other day. But this guy is like literally adjacent to us, so I don't think we're gonna have any trouble hitting them. And I wonder if the dagger does more damage but a shorter range. That might make sense. Let's actually try using the dagger. I've actually like just always used the sword unless I was out of range, just because I assumed it'd be stronger, but maybe the dagger has some value to it. Oh, we hit the orc and the number of enemy killed. That minimum and average, I think that display's a little bugged because those are always the exact same number. And I don't entirely know what that means. I don't know if enemies have like a defense value or something to hit them. I don't know if that's a multiplier on our strength stat. I don't know if that means to hit or damage. I have really no idea. But those are numbers and they're there. And 0.5 are some of the most well-rounded numbers I've seen in this game. Usually there's like 7 decimal points for some reason. Alright, number of enemies killed. So if we look at our character sheet, got some experience points there towards the bottom. That's actually the only way you can bring up your experience. Most other commands, you have an inquiry version on the left there. So you can like check out your strength or your magic ability or whatever. Well, the orc is vanquished. There are no other enemies here. Search for amulets. We found an amulet of control, Nagarutha. 15 hit point enemy. So if you look on the right, we have the Greblies indicator there. And I can also bring that up with PO in game. So I don't know what all the stats are for various enemies. If some are like easier to hit, if some are like very tanky but like are weak hitting, if some like do more damage than others, or how all that works. It's really hard to gauge without seeing a lot of numbers in the game. Now this list of hit points, and actually that says max hit points. I wonder if they can have less than that. I'm not really sure. But this list is really like some of the only numerical data you do get on these enemies. So I've been using this to gauge the power level of enemies, and I think it's been fairly accurate for that. I wish you were ordered, but you can tell like the Whelks, the Slimes, and the Dragons are like the strongest things here. This Nagrutha has 15 hit points, so it looks like it's pretty strong. Now, a lot of these I haven't really seen in the wilderness. Mostly some of these that have names I'm not familiar with. So Shen is one I'm sure I've never seen in the wilderness. Nagarutha might be one. I don't remember about El Karuter, Nagrutha, or Korgurng. I think Korgurng I've never seen up here. But we'll pay attention to that. So those might only be found in the underworld. So that might be a decision whether you're going to hold on to an amulet or not if you expect to actually see one of these enemies. Alright, let's keep moving. Amulet of Control Shen. So yeah, we're getting some amulets pretty fast here. I think amulets are kind of key to this game. Oh, I did not see the big worm. So that's what happens if I don't hit ID first. That thing might kill us now. That's pretty tough there. See, they have 12 hit points. We're like, our hit points are cut in half right now. I'm gonna try and escape this. So how you do that is with the evade command there with E. I think you can enter a defensive stance for free, so I'm gonna do that, and then I'm just gonna hit E. See if we can escape. Evasion succeeded. So evasion succeeded means that you've ran from the fight. And I'm not completely sure what the difference between that and pass party is. I've been using pass party when I've been running into like friendlies. Like humans that are like don't intend to attack us and stuff, and it seems to work. Although the message is weird. It's like you made it past woo, like it was like you got lucky or something and you were in danger. So I'm not completely sure there, but evade does get you out if you do that. It doesn't always succeed on the first time. I feel like it's less than 50% chance. There may be some more stuff going on into that though. Alright, let's keep advancing. There's the underworld again. I want to gain some levels before going down there. Amulet of Control Lurg. Alright. Alright, so we just found an amulet. We already have 5 amulets, which is the maximum. So it says amulet found, limit exceeded. Do you want to discard an amulet? So let's say yes. So we don't know what amulet we found, but we still have to discard one. So generally, I just discard like my weakest one. But like I said, Shen, I've only ever seen in the underworld. So that might actually be a good one to discard here because we're not going to the underworld yet. And like we're still level 2, like the first level, really. I've never been level 1, so it's we have no hit points. So even these like weaker amulets, like this Lurg one, which seems to be a weaker monster with 9 max hit points, could be valuable to us. The human one is also 9 hit points. So maybe we get rid of Shen for now, because we don't expect to see any of them anytime soon. Oh, check this out. You found an amulet of Control Bat. And the big worm attack hit. So I think the big worm caught up to us. It wasn't on our screen. Whoa, it says no visible enemy. Is it invisible? I'm gonna cast. It will attack. This is confusing. I'm gonna go defensive and I'm gonna try to evade again. I've had that happen before with elves, so I thought maybe elves could go invisible. There was definitely a worm there. I wonder if they attacked us and then left, like if they were on the edge of the map or something. Maybe their range is greater than our vision. I don't see that often, but that's definitely pretty weird. No enemies, no amulets. So this is kind of like the cycle. And you know, we can take our time. enjoy the images and the forest and the trees. I've been playing this a lot though, so I've kind of gotten into like a steady cycle of this. And it feels like you're just kind of like entering a new room in like a roguelike, but you just don't have rooms and corridors in a way. We found another amulet here. Let's discard an amulet. So bats are really weak. What are they, 2 hit points here? 3 hit points. I think we can kill bats, so let's discard that one. Another amulet of control dragon. And wow, we keep getting ambush. Here's an elf. I have 5 hit points right now. I'm gonna cast ESP. It says they will attack. I wonder how many elves are here. I feel like they're out of our range. I'm gonna go defensive. Do I try to evade these two? I'm concerned that if I use like my sword that like I'll be out of range and they'll attack me and I'll die. Maybe we'll try the grapple. Verbally out of range, you advance. So that's what's nice about the grapple, or the unarmed attack. So this one looks in range now. I'm going to use our sword. Oh, out of range. Let me try to grapple again. Oh, by the way, Control H is backspace. That was a great tip that JT shared. No damage done. That probably means I'm in range now. What is this? Out of range. No damage done. They stab you? Out of range, it hit us again. Oh my god. Alright, let's just try to evade. Elf missed. Woo. I could use a scroll here. What do we have again? Disintegrate in fear. But I'm gonna try and keep evading. Nah, I probably should use a scroll. I felt like for one elf, I didn't want to do it. So the elf hit. We died. Tough luck. We were grotted. Reach level 2 is a bit of a misnomer since I didn't even level up. We started at level 2. Let's go with a beginner again. See what kind of start we get here. So this time we started with strength 2. Cloud Kill Scroll and Charm Party Scroll. I've actually never used Charm Party. And we have the Control Korgurn Amulet and the Bless Spell. So the Bless Spell, it says it blesses your weapon. So I don't know if that increases your chance to hit or your chance to do damage or the amount of damage. Something like that. See, no enemy, underworld, no amulets, typical start. So it is a shame that I gave up the amulet or the dragon amulet start on that last one. And I think it is worth using your spells or your scrolls early, because once you start leveling up, the game gets a lot easier. And you have a random chance to get a random spell when you level up. And once you get like a decent set of spells, you can really like use those in ways to, I don't want to say like almost never die, but some of them are like really good. Like if you teleport lets you just like leave fights. Shield of Defense was really good. And then like spells like Fireball and Ice Storm are really good at just like dealing with enemies. What's cool about spells is they can fail, but they seem relatively reliable. I haven't failed with them much. But once you cast them, like they actually hit and do damage. And they're always in range. So you don't have to worry about the enemy being out of range and stuff. And I think the enemy like being out of range, it's so annoying when you don't realize that and you waste an action. That spells are almost always worth it just for that. And you don't have like mana or spell power or anything like that. It seems like you can just keep casting. I mean, there's also prayer, which is DI for divine intervention. They don't listen to peasants like you. So what I found is that as you get higher level, you start getting different messages for prayer. It starts working more frequently. And the effect that I've seen is that they cast a random spell. So once they teleported me somewhere, once they like launched a fireball, it's pretty cool. And you can't use it too much. It'll say out to lunch, which is pretty funny. I do like the messages this game gives you. And then there is another prayer effect when you get very high level that feels a little spoilery. So I think I'll leave that for you guys to experiment with. But it's pretty dang cool. I'll just leave it at that. The underworld again, no enemies. Alright, we got an enemy here. Here's a dragon, great. So I think that the dragon will leave us alone. What I did in a game that I played last night was I instinctively used the find amulet command and then the dragon killed me. So I'm kind of curious if dragons just don't like you searching for their treasure. Because, you know, dragons like to hoard treasures. treasure in games usually. So I'm gonna just see if we can. Let's use the past party. Oh no, they don't like us. Dragon attack miss. We might just die to a dragon here. What scrolls did we have? Cloud kill and charm party. Ooh, I wonder if we can charm a dragon. Let's try reading that. Scroll faded, charm in effect. Creatures are dragon. Oh, we don't have that spell anymore. So we're gonna search. Are they like our friend now? I don't see them. I guess not. There's the dragon. Are they hostile? I wonder if they're gonna like help fight with us. Check that out. We have a dragon following us. That is super cool. It's probably a cool spell to get. I want to see if they'll like fight things with us. I bet you we could attack them, and they wouldn't fight back too if we really wanted to. I wonder if that's how the control amulets are actually supposed to work. Maybe they let things follow you and fight with you. That would be interesting. Come on, I want to find some enemies now. Maybe the dragon's just killing everything before we can get to it. You know what I've also kind of wondered is if once you run into like an encounter of enemies, if you're stuck in that encounter until you do something. So maybe we're actually stuck with this dragon until we kill it or leave. We could probably use the pass party command or the evade command to like leave them. I bet you that's the case because we're not seeing anything. So maybe we just fight this dragon for experience. Feel kind of bad, but I mean this is a cutthroat wilderness. Right at the top of the game, it says it's a game of survival. And if you're not winning, you're losing. So, as much as I like this dragon, I think we should kill them for experience. You know, I don't have the heart for it. Let's just pass them by. You made it. Woo. Alright. Maybe our dragon will come back later to help us when we're in a tight spot. Alright, let's keep pressing on. Alright, I'm just looking for amulets, looking for monsters. Control rock, that's a pretty good one, I think. Oh, there's a human here. Why do I keep getting attacked from off screen? This has almost never happened to me before. We have 3 hit points now. We're about to die to a human. No visible enemy. That's kind of annoying. And then they're probably out of range. Did I try to evade? Let's just use our cloud kill scroll. It's a super strong scroll. It didn't even kill them. Luckily it did not fade. Human attack miss. Alright. Enough of that. Less active, adds to attack only. I'm out of range. Can I advance with the unarmed? Terribly out of range, you advance. The human attack hits. You died. Tough. Man, we are having tough luck this session. I normally do not have this much trouble early. Alright, we start with 2 magical ability here. I wonder if that gives us a better chance of getting spells when we level up. If we could even level up. So this is an interesting set of scrolls. These are good scrolls for the underworld. So locate treasure shows you treasure rooms in the underworld. Although I can't really figure out what's special about them. Because I haven't found treasure in them yet. There's no amulets in them. I don't know what to do in there. I kind of wonder if it has something to do with that locate command on the left. Because I've never seen that command work before. It's one of the few commands I haven't seen do anything. Alright, we got the El Corruter amulet. Oh, and teleporting is the only way to get out of the underworld. Which is also good. I think it's good to have like a way to get out of the underworld before going down there. I think you can pray to get out of there eventually, since your god seems to use random spells. And teleport was one that I've seen before. But yeah, having a scroll or like the spell would probably be pretty good. Alright, let's go. Amulet of Control Dragon, good start. Alright, what do we have here? A bat? Alright, let's just fight it. Dude, out of range. What's our health? Okay, the bat's kind of weak. We should be able to fight a bat. Alright, so I tried to grapple. Okay, so it seems like the grapple has a longer range than the sword. Wonder if the dagger will hit. Still out of range. So I think we have to advance. We're closer now? Yes, we are. We hit it, we killed it. Right, what's our hit points? 10. We will search. We found an Amulet of Control Rock. And I think searching is an action that gives you more hit points. It looks like we're capped out anyways. Like attacking and like searching and like certain hit actions like pass a turn, you gain a few hit points. 10 hit points is actually pretty good for level 2. I don't think I've seen that before. And we're actually almost level 3 already after killing, what, just the bat? Sweet. Let's see, do we search for an amulet? Alright, nothing yet. Oh yeah, we got the rock amulet. Alright, so we'll just keep rerolling these rooms until we find some enemies or an amulet. Aha! We have a rock here. So the rock is under our control. And I think what that means is we just want to kill it. Whoops, am I supposed to use a spell? What did I do? Oh, I did use cast. Sure, I'll bless. Bless active. Use your dagger. Critical hit. I wonder if the dagger is like shorter range but has a higher crit chance. I don't really know how crits work either. We went up a level. So I always like to check our stats. Eventually when you get enough like amulets and weapons and spells, this will actually overflow off the top of the message buffer. So you're going to have to like check your strength and stuff individually. But what did we start with? 1 strength, 2 magic ability, 1 shield? Or was that last run where we died quickly? Because we have really good stats now. 2 strength, 3 magic ability, and 2 shield. That seems really good for level 3 in my experience. I don't think I've ever seen a stat higher than 3 either. So that's pretty sweet. Let's not let these great physical talents go to waste. I guess they're not all physical. We have magical ability as well. Alright, let's see here. Did we search yet? Nothing of value. Alright, what is that? A bat? So I think we gotta close in on the bats. I'm gonna advance. Can't even find it. Can I use attack 0? So yeah, the bat's still here. Just can't seem to find it. Do I have their amulet? No. Why are you running, bat? There you are. Try and get you with our sword. Oh shoot. I hit A instead of AT, so it truncated to advance. It might be out of range now. Unarmed. Advance. Attack with our sword. We missed. Attack with our sword again. We hit. Attack with our sword again. Out of range. Let's advance. There they are, right next to us. Let's pull out the dagger. Bat in range. Killed. Nice. Alright. That was quite a fight with that bat. Search for amulets. Something of value. What's our hit points at? 15. I don't really know what our cap is right now. We were at 10, so 15 is probably pretty close to it, I would imagine. I feel like you get like 4-ish hit points normally. I wonder if that's higher, like when you have a higher strength or something. Alright, I see an enemy down there. A big worm. I'm actually kind of scared of the big worm. We could use... No, we don't have any scrolls that help us in combat. I feel like I should evade this. I think we have a pretty good chance of losing here. And we have pretty good stats. Let's just go into defensive position, which I actually don't know what that means, but if I feel like I'm going to take some hits, I use it. I assume that makes your attacks worse off in some way. Either you can't hit as well or you don't do as much damage, but I really don't know. I wonder if we could kill the big worm if I use the bless, but I don't think we should risk it. Let's try and invade. Alright, evasion succeeded. Should be good now. What have we here? A dragon. I have their amulet, don't I? Whoops. There we go. Control dragon. I think we just fight this dragon for XP. We didn't charm this one. This dragon just came upon us. Alright, I use my sword, and wow, dragon in range, critical hit, killed. It's pretty impressive. They have max hit points 21. Not bad. What's our XP at now? Coming up close on 400 experience points for level 4. Can't wait. Amulet of Control Korgurng. Oops. So the El Karuder and the Korgurng, I think, might only be in the underworld. Alright, keep advancing and searching and looking for enemies. Alright, what do we have here? Another big worm. Whew, did we try to fight this one? Let's see, we're not going to the underworld. Let's try. We just killed a dragon, I'm feeling pretty good. I want to bless our attacks and use the sword. Big worm in range hit, we did not kill. They attacked but missed, let's go again. Big worm in range, blessed hit. So that means our blessed did something. Number of enemy in range equals killed equals 1, and we just gained a spell. We got locate treasure, which is not going to help us until we go to the underworld, I don't think. We can try casting it though and see if it ever does anything. And so we went up a level. Cool. So I don't really know what blessed does, and I actually do wonder if I don't see that blessed hit message very often when I use it, and I wonder if it only does something when you have that blessed hit. Maybe it like re-rolls if you miss or something. Whatever it did, it killed the worm. Feels good, man. We've got about 420 experience points. Let's try our new spell. You were in the wilderness, dummy. So yeah, you can't actually use locate treasure in the wilderness. Sorry, game, I didn't know. You don't have to call me a dummy. Alright, let's keep advancing. Maybe we'll go down into the underworld soon. I feel like we should gain a few levels before going down there. Let's go to like level 5 or 6. It'd be cool to like get another spell or attack. Actually, did we get another attack? We did, so check this out. It doesn't tell you when you get a new weapon like it does with your spells, but we got the bow. So from what I can tell, the bow is longer range. Now, I don't know if it has like, if it's weaker than the sword or has like a higher or lower chance to hit or certain enemies are weak to it. All these stats are kind of invisible to us. And I just haven't noticed any trends from playing. But I do know that it has a longer range. That's pretty good, especially if we don't have an offensive spell yet. Can't wait to use that bow. Let's see if we can roll up an enemy. Amulet of Control Orc. Starting to fill up our amulet slots. Not quite as fast as we did the first game. Actually, are we full now? Yeah, we have 5 amulets. That's the cap. Which means we want to start thinking about what we're going to get rid of. I think I'll get rid of the Orc amulet, because the Orcs are pretty weak. 3 max hit points. And I want to try to go to the underworld, and we have this El Karuder and Korgurng amulets, which I think are... Those are underworld monsters. They might be more common down there. Found amulet, limit exceeded. We'll discard an amulet. Let's get rid of that Orc amulet. Nagarutha. So I think that is another underworld enemy. So maybe we're going to be kitted out well for the underworld. And actually, I wonder if we should just go down there if we're thinking that these are underworld items. Because I think like getting amulets is pretty crucial to being safe in the wilderness while you're like low level. And also pretty good for leveling up, because like if you get these dragon amulets and these like slime amulets, you run into that stuff, you can like kill them with essentially no threat, no risk, and then get XP, which is pretty nice. Why not? Let's go down the underworld. Actually, hang on. We have 420 experience. Next level's at 700. Yeah, let's just go down. See if we can find some treasure. And I'll share whatever tips I have for the underworld that I've learned so far. So, entrance to the underworld found. Going down. Yes. So I think we do still get experience down here. So I assume maybe if we leave the underworld, then we'll level up with our XP. All right. Let's see. You're in room 26. Doors to rooms 10, 26, and 14. So you can see here already, room 26. There's something kind of crazy about the underworld. We'll just talk about this up front. I got pretty far into it, and then like I started getting more doors into my own room, and then like I was getting confused when I was backtracking to rooms, because it only shows you these rooms once, and if you fight something, you can't recall this, so you kind of have to write it down or remember it, and I'm really bad at remembering it, and I guess I was bad at writing it down too. So I'd always go back to the previous room, because if you hit V, it shows you the rooms you visited in which order. So I know I could always go back, but I was getting like things weren't what I thought they were before, and it was really confusing me. And I thought it was just my poor memory. And then, like, eventually, what I found out is JT, I guess, has been reading the code and looking at it for this, and I guess the variables it uses for the rooms like start to shift. So the longer you spend in the underworld, like, it basically starts like collapsing on itself. I think eventually, like, you only end like there might converge onto only being one room left, and like with 3 doors into itself, which is pretty crazy. And I've only spent like a long time down here, like once or twice, so I don't know. I never found anything interesting. I don't know if like the section, like if there's like a target room that got closed off from the rest of the dungeon or what. And I'm not 100% sure, but I'm assuming if you leave and come back, it kind of like resets. So yeah, this is like an MC Escher-esque dungeon. I guess it makes sense for the underworld if things are shifting. Maybe it's, demonic and like some weird plan or something. I guess that could make sense. Who knows if that's intended or not? It's definitely confusing. But yeah, so that's kind of something to be aware of down here. And I'm just bringing that up because we saw this room 26 here, which is the room we were already in. But I'm going to be writing down the room options so I don't forget like I always do. JT actually has a hack that you can edit the code here, and it'll display the rooms after every action or something down here, which is a great quality of life thing. I haven't put that into the game yet. I'm just playing the base unedited game for now until I beat it. And then if anyone has some cool patches or something, maybe we'll start looking at that. Here we go. Let's start with the lowest room. No, what we should do is detect treasure. So these are all the treasure rooms, apparently. So I'm going to write these down, and let's see if we can find some treasure. A lot of treasure rooms. I'm not sure how many rooms there are in the underworld. I think 29 or 30 is the highest number I've seen. So we can go to 10, 26, or 14. You know what's funny? Actually, let's try going to room 26. Oh, by the way, the move command is how you go to rooms. You type move and then slash and then the room number. Yeah, look at this. So we were in room 26 with options to go to rooms 10, 26, and 14. And now we're in room 26 from room 26. We have rooms at 26, 26, and 14. So one of the doors just turned into room 26. Let's try it again. I think you actually don't have to hit the slash. Let me try just M26. No, you do have to put the slash. Oh, and I should be... These rooms can change, so... This one has 4 humans in it. Do we have to fight them? Oh, by the way, don't use Cloud Kill in the underworld. There's not enough room for it to disperse. Trust me, stick to the wilderness for that spell. Think we can fight humans here? Let's try pass party. That doesn't work down here. I'm just going to move into room 26 again. Human blocking the way. Alright, buddy. Well, if you're not going to get out of my way, we're going to have to fight. Actually, let's bless our blade. Oh, jeez. 4 hits. Uh, Time to read that teleport scroll. I think we're still too level for our god to care for divine intervention, but I think we risk dying here if we do anything. So read, teleport, scroll faded, unfortunately. So teleport complete. We are back in the wilderness. No, not going back down to the underworld right away. I'd like to wait until we get a scroll, or I guess we're not gonna. You don't find more scrolls. I've never found one at least. Maybe treasure rooms can have them, but like I said, I never found one in the underworld either. But yeah, I wish I could spend some more time in the underworld, but that's where we are for now. And I'll tell you what, guys, I think what I'm gonna do, since this is a nice little chunk of video, and I believe I've shared most of the knowledge that I've learned, certainly enough to play for the amount of time that we've played and not run into anything terribly new. I'm gonna go ahead and cut this video here. And what I think I will do is do a sequel to this where we continue this exact seed, and I'm gonna try and go further into the game, and maybe I'll start. I won't talk about the spoilery stuff, unwarranted. But if we reach any of those points in the game, then I mean, it'll just happen, and I will warn you all. There's like one or two things that I think are kind of like surprising that I've discovered, so I want to leave that for you guys to learn about. But I think this is probably a good session here, so I'm going to leave this, and then we'll do another episode later in the week where we can continue right where we're leaving off here right now. And maybe we'll talk about a few more things. I don't know if there's anything I forgot about the underworld since our time was so brief down there. But I think I'm going to start experimenting from this point in the next video. So I hope that was helpful. I hope people are enjoying this game. I encourage you to check it out. Like I said, it's very addicting. It's probably more fun to play than to watch. So go play it, and I recommend it. And I hope this session right here helps you all get started and adjust to the game a little faster than I was able to. So thanks again for watching, guys, and I'll catch you guys next time.